Yo, you want more energy? You want to live a longer, healthy life? I'm gonna give you 10 hacks to give you way more energy and to live a longer, healthier life. And the reason why having energy is important is because if you out here trying to get money, you gotta put in work. You gotta put in work consistently over a long enough period of time. But it's not even just how much you work, it's also the quality of that work. And you need what energy for that. And in order to do that, you should implement these 10 hacks, give you more energy so you can make more money and I guess live longer, I guess. Before we get into it, you be tired as shit, sleepy. If you're tired, you might as well be retired. You're competing with people in the marketplace. You're competing with other people and there's a lot of competition and you may not have as many attributes as some people. They might have more connections than you. They might have more opportunities than you. They might have more income than you. They may be smarter than you. But if you can get your energy up, no one can outwork you. When it comes to energy, one of the first things we need to look at is your diet. Most of you motherfuckers eat like small children and you expect to compete with motherfuckers like me. You out your goddamn mind. So here's what we're gonna do with our diet. We're gonna eat in a way that controls our glucose or glycogen. A lot of people, their glucose levels are like a roller coaster. They're going all over the place. Here's the thing, when you have huge spikes in glucose, your pancreas secretes a hormone called insulin. And insulin's job is to snatch all the glucose out your body so your monkey ass don't die. That's why diabetics, they have to inject glucose because their bodies don't make it. The problem with that is the insulin, it snatches all the glucose out of your body and your brain, and then your glucose levels dip below baseline. And that's where you get tired after you eat. I think the scientific word for that is called the itis. Also, your body uses some energy to digest the food, but it's really the glucose is the main thing. What we need to do is to control that glucose, stabilize it. Just so we're clear, there's a 2001 study that showed that large post-meal glucose spikes correlated directly with increased fatigue and decreased alertness. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stabilize our glucose levels. There's a few different ways to do that. For one, focus your meals on protein, healthy fat, and fiber. You can still eat carbs if you want, but make sure they're always paired with protein. Never eat carbs by themselves, because carbs by themselves will cause a higher spike in glucose. But if you eat carbs with protein, it will mitigate a lot of the negative effects, and your glucose won't spike as high. In this way, after a meal, you won't be as fucking sleepy as you usually are. Next thing you need to do, this is gonna help, especially for you goddamn carb eaters, is take a quick 10-minute walk after a heavy meal, especially if it has a lot of glucose, right? This has been proven in many studies. Take a 10-minute walk after you have a big meal, especially if it has a lot of carbohydrates, because this is known to stabilize glucose. Here's a study showing that when these motherfuckers walk 10 minutes immediately after glucose intake, their shit normalizes. You want to make sure you control your glucose levels. Don't let it spike out of control. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you motherfuckers do shit like eat candy and cake. During the day, it's just insane. It's like my son to do that. I took him to the movies. All he wanted was a bag of M&Ms. He likes the plain M&Ms. Cool, he's a fucking baby. He's 8 years old. And he ain't got to fucking hustle. Yo goofy ass wants to come up. So what you need to do is make sure you don't snack on bullshit. Every time you have some carbs, you better have some protein with it. And then go for a 10-minute walk after that shit. And this way you won't be as tired. You won't suffer from the itis. Number two, the second thing you need to do is every once in a while, I fast. Sometimes 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours. So I'm in a 24-hour fast right now. Every time I do this, what happens is when I do these fasts, not only do I get super ripped, I started doing this just for body composition reasons. Every once in a while, I would need to get ripped or something, or a photo shoot, or I'm filming a bunch of shit. I wanted to be extra shredded for that shit. Depending on how fat I was, I would go on either a 24-hour fast, 48-hour fast, or 72-hour fast. And I would be way more ripped after it. What I noticed was during the fast, if done right, I had way more energy and I got way more shit done. Here's how you do the fast right. You take a shitload of caffeine. Me, I'll take like 3 pre-workouts per day. When I'm doing a 24-hour fast, 3 pre-workouts, which add up to be around 900 milligrams of caffeine. I'm not saying you should do that. I have a super high caffeine tolerance. You motherfuckers might spaz out doing that shit. You be running butt naked down the street. Me, I'm still calm and cool and shit. But you want to have some caffeine. Also, what's going to help it is to increase your electrolytes. You could drink some of that LMNT, that shit Huberman be slinging. I'll take that sometimes, but also I drink water, a bunch of water throughout the day. and I'll throw some salt in this shit, like a teaspoon of salt in this shit, and drink a few of these throughout the day. And what happens is those electrolytes will help you feel better while you're fasting. I get so much work done during those fasts. Those are always my most productive days. So anytime I have like a big project to do, or I have something I'm working on and I have to put in a lot of work, like today, I'll do a 48-hour fast. But if it's a big project, I'll do that shit for like, I'll fast for like 72 hours. I'm probably gonna end up doing that next week because I got a big fucking project I gotta tackle. The reason the fast is so important because one, you get more done because one, you're not eating during that day, right? So you ain't gotta stop to eat and shit. What happens is you start getting so much more energy, man. If done right and with enough caffeine, you start feeling like your cognitive functions kind of improve, and I just get way more done. Those are always my most productive days. One more supplement you might want to take is this stuff called ephedra. It used to be in every bodybuilding supplement when I was growing up in the 90s. They banned it. I guess some fucking people died or some shit. You can't put it in bodybuilding supplements, but you can still get it. You just got to go to the pharmacist and get this shit called Bronch Aid. And the main ingredient in that is ephedra. And yo, you will lose a lot of fat too if you do this. Honestly, Bronch Aid will give you tons of energy and it will kill your appetite. Like you won't be hungry at fucking all. It's like Ozempic in a pill. 24 to 72 hour fast. I wouldn't fast longer than that. 48 hours is kind of the sweet spot for me. The third thing you need to do to have more motherfucking energy is lift weights. Big surprise that the fucking guy who don't never wear sleeves is telling you to lift weights. But lifting weights has been proven to actually give you more energy, right? So here's a study right here that showed that resistance training increases mitochondria density in your body. You need testosterone and dopamine to really get shit fucking popping. Check out that study when you get a chance, bitch nigga. Yeah, here's another study that shows that it increases dopamine. Weightlifting increases dopamine. Now here's the thing about dopamine. Dopamine is not just the neurochemical for pleasure. Dopamine is responsible for drive and motivation. When you see somebody's like, man, I ain't got no motivation, I ain't got no drive, their dopamine levels are super low. You need dopamine to have motivation. That's why you want to stay away from cheap dopamine that's easy to get, because you're kind of tricking your body's reward system. We'll talk about that later. But you need dopamine. Resistance training increases dopamine. Boom, here's another study that shows that exercise boosts dopamine release and brain-derived neurotropic factor, right? And this is from NYU. Here's the thing. There are studies that show that dopamine increases your mental cognition. It is a study, man, a meta-analysis showing resistance training, weightlifting, actually increases cognition, which is like your mental capacity, how well you think. So if you ain't lifting, man, you ain't thinking as hard as me, man. What I do is I do full body workouts. I have videos about it, but I've been doing full body workouts for over 10 years. I think it's superior when it comes to build muscle. All I do is I pick 1 or 2 compound movements per body part, and I do 3 to 4 sets of those. And I do it every day, but I've been lifting for a long time. I can handle more volume than you can. If you did it 3 or 4 times a week, that'd be sufficient for you. You don't want to do isolation movements. You want to do compound moves. These are your bench press, bent over rows, overhead press, chin-ups, pull-ups. The fourth thing you need to do to have way more energy is get sunlight early in the morning. So here's a study I'm about to show you that showed that people who expose themselves to early morning light have better sleep quality and higher daytime alertness. That's the part I want you to understand. Higher daytime alertness. So in this study, it just proved that people had more energy throughout the day. They were more alert when they got sun exposure first thing in the morning. And I think my favorite white science man, Andrew Huberman, he talks about this shit all the time, is to get sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning, right in your eyeballs, not through a window. You need to get exposure. Now, don't stare into the sun like a fucking weirdo, but just go outside while the sun is out. For me is, you know, I live right across the street from the Atlantic Ocean. So I'll get outside and I'll walk on the ocean. I see manatees in the morning sometimes. They say what up to your boy. They just come to show love. They don't want no beef. And I'll do like my handstand push-ups out there. I'll read in the morning, but I do it at sunrise, like soon as the sun starts coming up, and I make sure that it gets in my, I don't have to look at the fucking sun like a weirdo, but just make sure I get sun exposure first thing in the morning. And as a result, I have way more energy. So you need to start incorporating that in some way. Maybe you ain't got the Atlantic Ocean in your backyard, but you need to at least go outside, open a window, stick your head out that motherfucker. I don't know what you gotta do, but you want to get sunlight directly in your eyes first thing in the morning. It's critical, but all you need is like 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to be outside like mad long in the morning, like 30 minutes in the morning like me. I have noticed that, man, when I go on a walk in the morning, I feel better. It's not just the sun. The sun is a big part of it, but also it does something for my brain. Like I don't listen to music or nothing. I lower my thoughts and I go on a quick 20-minute walk or something. I feel better. I want you to have that feeling too. Fifth thing you need to do to have way more energy is control dopamine exposure. So remember, dopamine is required for motivation. If your dopamine is low, you will not have a lot of motivation. Now, here's the problem though. Most of you motherfuckers are artificially spiking your dopamine throughout the day. So I want you to think about this. Think about it like this. So your brain, I want you to think about it like a trough, like a bucket or some shit. And in that bucket, every day, your brain is making a certain amount of dopamine each day. Now, what happens is when you do something that spikes your dopamine, you're left with a little less after, little less, right? So this is like, playing video games, surfing social media, getting high, anything that sparks dopamine. And you keep doing this shit throughout the day, boom, and then you have with less dopamine. Now, dopamine will replenish. It will replenish when you're sleeping. But the problem is most of you motherfuckers, you're doing this shit all day. You're fucking gooning and playing video games and then fucking getting high, doing a bunch of shit that spikes your dopamine all day. And you never give your dopamine a chance to recover enough. And that's why you motherfuckers don't have motivation, because you keep artificially using your dopamine. Because when people say spikes, it's not really that. It's like a withdrawal. It's more of a withdrawal from your dopamine reserves, and you're not replenishing enough, or you don't give your body enough chance to replenish. So, and there's studies that kind of corroborate this. I don't feel like reading them all or going over them all with your goofy ass, right? So what we want to do is we want to limit our dopamine withdrawals so we have enough to use for the shit that's important. We don't want to waste our dopamine, because remember, dopamine is responsible for motivation. Without dopamine, you won't have motivation. So we can't waste it on bullshit. We don't want to waste our dopamine on the bullshit. We want to reserve our dopamine for the shit that's important, which is our goals, the shit we're trying to accomplish in life. And make no mistake, this other shit will fucking cause your dopamine to crash. Basically, this study showed that consistent exposure to things that spike your dopamine or draw from your dopamine reserves fucks up your brain's reward center, so you no longer have the ability to feel pleasure as much. This is why, you play hours of video game. It's kind of fun when you're doing it, but it becomes less and less fun. Or you smoke weed, you need more and more weed. Start fucking random bitches, after a while, it gets old, man. Most of y'all will never experience that. Here's a study showing that junk food can trigger cues and motivation, right? And it make you, when they're addictive, but they can actually fuck with your dopamine reward center. You don't want that. So what we need to do is actually, really just reserve our dopamine. So while you're working during the day, man, stay away from junk food. Stay away from sugar. Sugar will spike your dopamine in an unnatural way. You got to think, man, like cavemen couldn't get sugar like that, even if they ate fruit, because the prehistoric fruit was not the same as the fruit we get now. And they definitely weren't eating fucking Snickers, right? So they couldn't even get that shit all day, every day like we can. This shit would go haywire if they were exposed to that shit, right? So we want to stay away from junk food, sweets. We want to stay away from all recreational drugs. I haven't done a recreational drug in over 10 years. Stay away from alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol at all in over 10 years. Really limit your fucking video game playing, limit your gooning, right? There's all these things that withdraw from our dopamine reserves. We want to stay away from these shits. Okay, here's the one thing you can do. This is optional, but this is what I do. I do something called the ketogenic diet. Fucking love it. See, the reason I went keto at first is because my cholesterol was kind of high. It's something that runs in my family. The doctor wanted to put me on statin medication, but they have tons of like super negative side effects. At that point, I had already been a certified personal trainer and nutritionist for over 10 years. So I had read some studies that showed that the ketogenic diet for some people can actually lower cholesterol. So I said, let me try this instead of these goddamn drugs. And I did that for 1 month, and my cholesterol started to normalize. And I went back to the doctor, and he said, oh man, your cholesterol is great, man. You've been fucking taking them drugs we gave you. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't take that drugs. I say no to drugs. And he said, well, just keep doing whatever you're doing. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I walked out of there, and I said, man, the keto really worked. It helped my cholesterol. I noticed that once I went keto, I had more energy. I had more mental focus. And a lot of people report the same thing. Place for more dates. That motherfucker, he said,
oxidative stress in the brain and neuroinflammation actually causes that fog, that brain fog. So the ketogenic diet, number one, improves the efficiency of the mitochondrial respiratory chain, thereby reducing free radicals in the brain. So it actually reduces oxidative stress in the brain. Also, ketogenic diets are consistently shown to increase glutathione synthesis and glutathione peroxidase synthesis. So overall, I think the main impact on the brain fog is the reduction of oxidative stress.
Yo, man, I know people erroneously say that ketogenic diet will lower your testosterone. I mean, that's not what the studies say. You know what I'm saying? So this study, 2022, man, ketogenic diet state improved testosterone serum levels. This is a meta-analysis, meaning it's like there's more than one study. It's multiple studies put together. Right? I don't know where people get this shit from, man. People's testosterone will like double when they're on keto. You can look at the studies. So here's a study showing that the ketogenic diet can actually improve mental cognition. And this is the main reason I've been keto for about 9 years. Going on 10. But it was this right here, man. You know, this is what I felt like keto's effects of ketogenic diet on cognition. I'm just telling you, if you ain't ever been in ketosis, you don't really understand it. Your focus will improve dramatically. There is an adaptation period. It may be 2 to 4 weeks where you have to adapt. Because what happens is you're not getting as much glucose. Remember, we talked about glucose earlier. And glucose is the fuel your body runs on when you are eating carbs all the time. But in the absence of glucose, your liver will convert fat into something called ketones. And that's the new fuel your body runs off. And it's a way cleaner burning energy than glucose. Because remember, glucose, if that shit goes too high, if your blood ketones go above 110, your pancreas will secrete insulin. And we talked about it earlier. High glucose insulin spikes that cause the glucose roller coaster that makes you motherfucking sleepy after you eat lunch. When your body's running off ketones, what happens is your energy levels are just more stable. And ketogenic diet is not a new thing. It's not a fad. People say it's a fad. It's over 100 years old. It was invented in 1920 by doctors to cure epilepsy in children, right? They noticed that the epilepsy drugs were a little too harsh the little children. It would fuck them up. So what they did was they developed a ketogenic diet, and they noticed that all these kids, man, they stopped spazzing out. They stopped having seizures and shit. Presumably they got fucking shredded as well. But yeah, it just shows that keto will actually improve mental cognition. Now, you can get the same effect from carnivore diet. I know that's really exciting right now. People are really into carnivore over the last 5 years. Every guy who fucking watches MMA and votes for Trump wants to do carnivore, right? Which is cool, I get it. Carnivore is different than keto, but if you are carnivore, you'll probably be in ketosis. The difference is ketogenic diet is a macronutrient ratio, meaning you just need like below 50 net carbs, and then you replace the rest with fat and protein. But carnivore is just, hey man, we just eat meat. And I get why that's so exciting, especially to a certain demographic, because it's more fucking alpha. All I eat is meat. The carnivore diet, baby, whatever works, whatever gives you the most energy. If you lack energy on keto, there are a few reasons for that. Reason number one, you weren't supplemented with electrolytes. When you lower your carbs like that, you have to supplement with electrolytes. Another reason why you might not have energy on keto is because it really decreases your hunger. When people start doing keto, they are not as hungry. And there's studies that prove this, like the ketogenic diet dramatically reduces hunger. So what happens is people do fucking keto, they get in ketosis and they don't eat enough to sustain energy. They still need food. I remember one of my my old cameraman, he was doing keto. He's like, man, I'm not hungry, but I feel like I need to eat. I ain't got no energy and I'm not hungry. Motherfucker, are you tracking this shit? He's like, nah, all right, cool. So we went over what he ate every day. We put it in MyFitnessPal and we estimated how much he was eating. This motherfucker was like 220 pounds. He had 1,000 calories. It's like, of course, motherfucker, but he wasn't hungry. This is why one of the reasons people lose a lot of fat on keto or carnivore or anything like that, because it makes you not hungry, but you still got to make sure you're eating enough. So that's the second reason people might have low energy on keto. And then third reason is sometimes they don't do it long enough. There is the adaptation phase, right? Your body's been running on glucose its whole life. Your body has to learn to produce ketones and enough ketones to give you energy. One thing that can aid with that is during the adaptation phase, if you take a ketone supplement, any supplement with ketones, whatever you want, right? You take that a few times a day, you'll have more energy. Now, and some people say, man, but I can't build muscle on keto. You got the whole gang fucked up. Here's a study showing that people can build muscle on keto. You don't need carbs for anything, right? There's essential amino acids, which are proteins, essential fatty acids, which are fats. There's no such thing as essential carbohydrate. And so this is a study, read it on your time. There was no difference in hypertrophy or muscle gain between the group that it was eating regular standard American diet and the ketogenic group. There was no difference. There's another study where it showed that for a lot of people, man, ketogenic diet actually improved athletics performance, right? So keto diet, especially in endurance athletes, they recovered faster. Organ damage prevention, I don't know what that's about, right? But you can read that shit. Like it actually improved their athletic performance. Just for one more thing, some of you motherfuckers, your skin is fucked up. You out here looking like pimple faces. Keto has been proven to cure acne. This is one guy, man, he be making videos about me every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? He be wearing a filter on his face, you know what I'm saying, to cover up his acne. He got acne because, you know, when motherfuckers have filters, sometimes it moves and then you see what they really look like, you know what I'm talking about? And his motherfucker was talking shit about me in a video, and I saw the filter leave for a second and come back, and he had a bunch of acne. I was like, damn, man, the ketogenic diet actually cures acne. People ask me, Brandon, why is your skin so good? I've been keto for 9 years. You ain't got to do it, but I'm a starch proponent. The next one we're talking about is hyperhydration. So a lot of times people, they think they need more sleep. They have brain fog, they're tired, they don't have energy. Motherfuckers ain't drinking enough water, man. You gotta drink more water. But here's a study that showed that if you are just fucking 2% dehydrated, then it will cause fatigue and a decrease in alertness. Just a 2% dehydration. This is not like motherfuckers in the desert crawling, looking for an oasis. No, this is like just 2% mild dehydration. Like you have dark urine, and it shows that it will really fuck up your mental fortitude and cognition. Here's another study that showed that if you are dehydrated, it actually increases fatigue. It causes confusion and loss of vigor, right? And it also fucks up your mood. Drink some water, man. That's why you sad. Like it'll fuck up your mood, man. And here's another one that showed that just a little bit of dehydration. I mean, we're talking about less than 10% dehydration. It shows fatigue and increased anxiety. Motherfuckers, and decreased cognitive performances. Motherfuckers out here tripping with just mild dehydration. Motherfuckers just mild dehydrated. I've been telling people to drink more water. Everyone who listens, I say drink more water. How much water you drink per day? Motherfuckers don't even know. I track how much water I drink, and it's 2 gallons, motherfucker. You don't have to drink 2 gallons. I'm a G. You a regular nigga. If you ain't 6'2", 200 pounds, you might not need 2 gallons of water. 1 gallon may be sufficient. Every once in a while, some fucking dipshit says, man, too much water will kill you. You scared of water now? Right, I'm not telling you to drink 10 gallons of water a day. Between 1 and 2, you'll be fine, man. Now, I count other shit as water because it does hydrate you. So I'll count my diet soda or any non-calorie drink. I'll count that in my total, right? So pre-workout, I drink like 3 green teas a day. But I also just drink water, and I put like a little pinch of salt in it. It's good. It's good. All right, number 8 is some more fucking sleep, bitch, nigga. Motherfuckers be wondering why they ain't got the energy, but they don't sleep enough, man. You gotta sleep. So listen, sleep loss has been proven to studies to negatively affect cognitive functions and energy and behavior and alertness and mood. This shit'll fuck up everything in young, healthy males. That's you. You definitely need to get sleep. All right. Another study shows that it impairs cognitive functions. Motherfuckers can't make choices. They can't react as well. They can't work out together. This was done with college students. And here's another study that shows sleep loss can reduce muscle strength. You gonna be a weak ass bitch with less sleep. Hey man, so fuck that. Here's what I do. I go to sleep at the same time every day. I make sure I sleep between 7 to 8 hours. 7 is fine for me. 8 is superior. I'm older though, I'm 42. So as you get older, you actually don't need as much sleep. My son, he's 8. This motherfucker slept 12 hours on Saturday night. Like we was playing all day Saturday and then he went to sleep. This motherfucker slept fucking 12 hours on Sunday. I couldn't do that if I tried. But you want to make sure you get sleep. So go to sleep at the same time every day, even on the weekends every day. And I wake up at the same time every day. And what happens is your body gets into a rhythm called a circadian rhythm. You're always fucking up your sleep schedule. What happens is it goes out of whack and your body never knows what to do. But then you can actually, if you go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day, you kind of train your body to sleep at the right time. Make your room fucking cold and dark. So I make the fucking AC as low as my girl can stand it. And I got this shit called a chili pad. It is basically like a mattress pad. It has this contraption next to it. You fill up with water and it runs like cold water underneath you. So your whole mattress feels like, the cool side of the pillow, you flip it over and it feels cool. Imagine your whole body feeling like that. I sleep better. I track it with my Oura ring. My sleep is better. My REM sleep is better. My deep sleep is better. It's not just the duration. It's actually the quality of the sleep. That's another reason why I can get away with 7 hours of sleep, because the quality is super, super good. And you can take some supplements before you go to sleep. So magnesium is really good. Some people like CBD. I'm not a big fan. I ain't on drugs like you. You can also take this shit called Unisom. That shit really helps me go to sleep. These are things you can take before bed to go to sleep. The 9th thing you can do to have more energy, meditate. You have more energy and it'll improve your mood. So there's a lot of studies that show meditation improves both your mood and cognitive performance. Meditation actually improves your cognitive ability over time. It doesn't happen like the first day you do it. So I've been meditating for 15 years. I do 2 15 to 20 minute sessions twice a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the early afternoon. There was a study done by Harvard University that showed that after just 8 weeks of meditation, part of your brain called the amygdala start to shrink. Why is that important? It controls your fight or flight response, right? It's the part of your brain that makes you fucking spaz out. If you see a motherfucker crash out, that was a response from his amygdala. After just 8 weeks of meditation, that part of your brain starts to shrink. So imagine what it is when you've been doing it for like 15 years like me. That's why I'm so much calmer and cooler than you motherfuckers. Because my amygdala is tiny, man. You got a big ass amygdala. But also, there's another study that showed that After about 8 weeks of meditation, part of your brain called your neocortex starts to become more dense, right? And that's the part of your brain that's responsible for the logic. Meditation will shrink your amygdala, making you less of a fucking crash out spaz, and strengthen your neocortex and make you more logical. You think you'd be calmer and making better decisions under those circumstances? You motherfuckers gotta smoke weed to be as cool as me. You got a big ass amygdala. You actually growing your shit because you overusing it. They'll meditate. And there's studies that show that meditation gives you just improved cognitive performance in general. And it should make a lot of sense because the studies show that it actually changes the structure of your brain. The 10th thing you wanna do is to plan every hour of every day in your calendar. If you plan every hour of every day in your calendar, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get way more done than almost everyone you know. You have no idea how much fucking time you're wasting because you don't plan every hour of every day in your calendar. You're not getting shit done because you're wasting time. Bruce Lee said, if you love life, don't waste time. Because time is what life is made of. You guys are fucking freestyling your days. If you're freestyling your fucking day, how the fuck can you make the most out of your most important resources? Time. Every one of my days is choreographed. I know exactly what I'm gonna do and I know exactly how it's gonna go. It's subject to change throughout the day, but this is what my calendar looks like. Every day is planned out. It's choreographed, and that's why I get so much more done than the average person. And everyone who I've coached to do this, if they did it for 90 days, their whole life fucking changed. Like they made more money, they got in better shape, and then now they're planning when they're gonna work. They're planning when they're gonna work out. Their relationships improve. Cause now, you know, the bitch is not fucking saying, oh, you don't spend enough time with me. Put that shit in the calendar, man. So their relationships improve, they make more money, they get in better shape because now they're weaponizing time. You guys are just letting time pass. Your calendar is the way you can weaponize time. If you want to learn exactly how to implement this strategy, I got a video all about how to plan every hour of every day in your calendar so you could be more productive than almost everyone you know. So productive it feels illegal.